I now very rarely go out to inaugurate art, even though I've always been interested in it and collect it. But this is very beautiful work. And Madhuri Bhaduri is well known in this field. What he's done is very pretty. The translucent waters, flowers in the water. It's soothing. It's everything a painting should be, and it's original colors. I wish her well, and all of you.
Furniture, and Melange is the brand they tied up with, that's the brand. And they try to create something new, because nowadays we always talk of something unique, something which is really trendy, which is deep within your minds. That's what we call ethereal in real. So this is just a masterpiece, and you can take a look. It probably would signify, and you could get into the widest of perception thinking about what it exactly is or what it really is.
It's very nice that Madhuri invited me to be the chief guest here. We are just colleagues, so I was a little surprised that she wanted to raise me to these dizzy heights, which I don't really deserve. But Madhuri and I have been at various art camps together, and I think we once shared a room in, where was it, in Jamshedpur.
I was just going to say.
I wasn't there.
My cap.
So I've always admired her work, but more than that, I think to have filled a space this large, and she said this is only the tip of the iceberg. She has lots more work lying in Pune, which she has not been able to show. But I would be daunted, even today, to fill a space this big, because what it really means, all of you see the paintings on the wall, admire them, but for each painting that has been made, Madhuri has obviously sweated tears and blood, because it takes a great effort. I've always said that we painters are blue-collar workers. We really work with our hands. She has made large paintings here as well, and that takes a lot of effort. There's a lot of difference between imagining a work and then actually letting it appear on canvas. There's a big difference, and that is what divides the real painters from the amateurs. And Madhuri seems to have been able to encapsulate her vision in each and every one of these very luminous paintings, where you see reflections, where you see a sudden light. I see a painting right there behind me, where it's all green and multicolored, and there's that sudden light. You see that little light on the left? And that's not easy to achieve. That's not easy to achieve at all. Moreover, I think that she has tried to experiment, or has experimented sometimes, I think quite successfully, in changing the media and doing these experiments with furniture and objects. That is something that we all aspire to do, because we get paid. I mean, I've been painting for 62 years and I get fed up of painting sometimes. So for 10 years I did many experiments, including sculpture in glass, painted furniture. I did a whole exhibition of painted furniture. And I'll tell you a small story about that, which might amuse you all. I'm also very desperate about the garbage that we are strewing across the world. So when these 52 large pieces of furniture were ready, my great dilemma, some were in Delhi, some were in Madras. My great dilemma was, how do I transport these paintings to Bombay, where the exhibition was, without creating a huge mess of packing material. So I hit upon the idea of wrapping them in razais. So I ordered 100 razais. In those days, there was only 100 rupees a razai. And we wrapped all this in razais. There was no plastic, there was no gatta. And finally we arrived in Jahangir Art Gallery. And when we got there, the management said, but there's no place for you to stack these razais. So what I did was I piled them up in the middle of the gallery. And that became, by just happenstance, the first installation ever. Madly colored razais. And lovers would come and sit on them, children would roll amongst them, and it created a great feeling of fun in that first exhibition. So I think in that spirit, Madhuri's made those lovely chairs with the clowns in them. She has made things with wood, with ceramic and fiberglass. So she is in that experimental stage now, which I went through in the 90s. And I know that it's very exciting. It's also very bold because you don't know when you're doing an experiment, is this going to succeed or is it not going to succeed? And Madhuri's taken that gamble, as all artists should, because I'm sure her, and this is another thing I've said to young artists, it's the work that is important, not where it goes or who buys it. Because when you do these gambles, you feel it might not hit the market at all. Maybe nobody wants them, but it's very important to do them nonetheless, whether it sells or whether it doesn't. And I hope for Madhuri's sake that they will find homes or places in hotels as they well deserve. So congratulations, Madhuri. It's wonderful to see how your work has grown and grown and grown to this wonderful level. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming here. And there is one incident which I want to definitely talk of when Anjali is here. Is there was this camp in Tata Steel, Jamshedpur, where Jenny said that you have to talk, Madhuri. And I, till that day, otherwise I talk so much, but when it comes to talking in front of people or with a mic, I'm like petrified. I used to tell my friends who teach in school that why don't you, sort of take me to school one day and make me talk. So anyway, coming back to this, so Jenny didn't listen and she said you have to talk. So I went to Anjali previous evening and I said that I have to talk and I'm very nervous. So she was very sweet. She said, I have some stuff. Would you like to go through that and talk about that? I said, no, about other artists, I don't think I want to talk. What do I do? She said, it's okay, I think you'll be fine. And she sat there in front and she kept smiling at me. And somehow, after that, I looked at her face and she said, you talk first. So, and she talked so well that I was even more nervous though.
Ma'am was there, that's why you were very nervous.
But see,
it was two presentation, ma'ams and yours.
Yeah, so I spoke, she said, you talk first. I said, fine. So when I went there and I kept looking at her face and she was encouraging me to talk, and you won't believe it. That day I just lost all my inhibitions, I think, and I continued to, after that day it never bothered me what I said or what I spoke. And after the thing, if you remember, she said to me that you spoke very well, you were nervous but you spoke very well. I said, okay. So that is one incident, and then now it's all, the rest of the things I think there's nothing more to talk because I tried to show whatever I have to show in the works that I've done. And I do hope that you all enjoy and have a great time. And thank you very much for coming and gracing the occasion, Anjali, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Only that's Mr. Jaydeep. He's been to various places and really made heaven out of those places, and we are truly honored to have him here at the Leelas. And grand show. And that is what our chief guest, ma'am, said that she wasn't aware that Leela's would be something like this. So I think that really goes as a compliment to Leela's as well as to you, because you thought of really bringing art in this fashion, and art of different kind. So I want you to speak to all our respected guests this evening. Mr. Jaydeep, please. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please can I request you all to put your hands together for Mr. Jaydeep Anand, the General Manager of Leela's Gurugram.
You all have been very kind. First of all, a very, very warm welcome to the Leela Hotel. And a very warm welcome to ma'am. I mean, she's a legend, and she needs no introduction. She's been very kind. I'm just a normal hotelier who's just worked in hotels for about 30 odd years, which is why I was very happy. We go back, Madhuri and us as Leela go back. I mean, you'd be surprised. Madhuri has an association with Leela for I think 4 decades, 3.5 at least. When we started talking with Madhuri, and we saw what she did, which you guys have seen. So Madhuri is just an artist. She's a scatterbrained, lovely artist with a heart of gold, and she has no clue on selling. No, even today. She gets butterflies in her stomach 4 days before the event. I've been getting messages, WhatsApps about how is it happening, and so the concept of inviting you all, bringing you all together to watch this, her lack of not knowing what to do was a great inspiration or encouragement for us to help her through this. Her talent is so good that we felt that she deserved so an audience like you, ma'am's introduction, people around who appreciate all forms of art. My form of art that I appreciate is I cook, and I work with food and beverage and wine. So I'm a good waiter, I'm a decent cook. But yeah, you see?
She's a fabulous.
Yeah, so what happens is that but from extending cooking, whatever, one started sketching, and so as a person also I was very inspired by what she did. And so we got together, we spoke to our president, who also happens to know her, and our owners who've actually appreciated her art in such a manner that we run a very high-end luxury apartments about 800 meters from here, and in our show apartment there is no other piece of art except Madhuri.
Wow!
That's a big thing.
Brilliant, absolutely.
Not just that, we have Abhishek staying in our presidential today, Abhishek Bachchan. This afternoon when I was having a chat, and he'll be here soon, he's just finishing this, he's accepted to come and he's bringing the whole cast. One of the things that stood out, and I spoke to him this afternoon, I said, when we got Madhuri here, he said, yes, I met her for dinner. And I said, did you see that piece of art in the presidential suite? He says, outstanding, red, yellow, and orange. And so I said, well, she did it. He says, oh, she did it. I must come. So I mean, that's Madhuri. I mean, and this evening is not about Leela, it's not about me, it's about man, it's about celebration of art. And I'd really like to thank you all for coming by. Yes, and one more thing what we did was, now this girl is a great artist, and we have a great artist amongst us. He's not here at the moment, but I'll get Anurag. He's our pastry chef. So a lot of her sculptures and some of the paintings actually are a jugalbandi with the desserts that are coming across. You'll see that.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. So it's a dessert art, jugalbandi that's happening. So again, thank you very much. You inspired it, so we're just copying. And have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Overwhelmed actually.
Wonderful.
So after seeing ma'am's work, she sent me a few pictures on email
Some more coming.
and pictures of some sculptures. So this is my that's my interpretation of horizon. So when I think of horizon, I see a field of sunflower.
Oh!
And the orange sunflower that you see, it's orange cremo. It's completely edible.
Wow.
We have presented it like a field of sunflower.
Melange is an amalgamation of art and bespoke living. Each product has been crafted by bringing together Miss Madhuri's vibrant strokes with forms conceptualized by Hetal Varma. Can we please have you here, Hetal ji? And Rohit Sugla. Can we have you here as well? How are you all doing this evening? Excellent. Thank you. We have with us Hetal Varma and Rohit Sugla from Amor Indi, a global brand in furniture and interior trade. The aim was to inspire a range in Asian aesthetics to achieve furniture, each an individual masterpiece to satisfy the palate of the connoisseur. Well, they say everything depends on the first look. When a lady enters the room, it's the first attraction which makes an impression. When you enter a place or any space, it's always the first look and the impression. So please put your hands together for Melange.